If you enjoy the world of psychology, you've likely heard of the Stanford marshmallow experiment. But if you haven't, here's a quick breakdown. Children between the ages of 3.5 and 5.5 are put in a room with a single marshmallow. They have the option of eating that marshmallow or waiting a period of time while the adult leaves the room, and if they wait, when the adult returns, they're given a second marshmallow. The results of the experiment itself were very interesting. The ability to delay that gratification was mostly dependent on whether or not the child could avoid or suppress the desire to eat the first marshmallow. It also had a lot to do with where the marshmallow was placed, whether it was in plain sight or hidden. But 2 follow-up studies found something far more interesting than just whether or not a kid was able to avoid eating a marshmallow. 10 years later, the man who ran the experiment followed up with the children's parents, and those who were able to delay gratification in their younger years were described as being significantly more competent. On top of that, the University of Rochester provided a similar complementary experiment where children were placed in a room with adults who either made and delivered or made and broke their promises. And this is an interesting callback to the trust cycle. For kids who had promises broken to them in the first half of the second experiment, they had a harder time delaying gratification because they actually didn't know if the second marshmallow was actually going to be delivered or not. What the second follow-up study found was that many children had an inability to delay gratification, not just because of an inability to control themselves, but an inability to trust the person running the experiment. Whereas if the promise was delivered on, there was a much higher likelihood that that child would delay gratification because they knew that promise that was made would be delivered on. I think this brings to light 2 important points. Number 1, delaying gratification is a very powerful way to be successful in life. If we can weigh our current decisions with the future outcomes and trust ourselves that not right now is actually the best thing for us, we can get more later. Number 2, not everything is as meets the eye. Children who are unable to delay gratification may not have been unable to do so because of an inability, but rather a lack of trust for the person running the experiment. Don't forget, there's context for everything. As always, thank you for watching Blank Screen. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode.